Have you ever felt like you're doing nothing wrong, and yet still not becoming the man you're meant to be? Avoiding evil doesn't make you good. Virtue demands more than silence and neutrality. This is the path of Stoicism, where strength is quiet, action is intentional, and wisdom is forged through reflection. Let's begin. You need to start working on becoming a good man right now. Many people wander through life without ever truly understanding what it means to be a good man or even a good person. Here's a truth worth repeating. Just because you don't do bad things doesn't mean you're automatically doing good. There's a difference between negative, positive, and neutral. And neutrality, it's not harmless, it's empty. Like the Stoics remind us, life isn't about what happens to you. It's about how you respond. That response defines your character, your integrity, your virtue. Living in a state of neutrality might seem like a safe bet. It can feel like you're keeping your hands clean by not getting involved. But neutrality is often just quiet stagnation. Think about those moments in your life when you chose silence, chose to remain passive, to stay out of it. You didn't cause harm, but you also missed a chance to make a difference, to defend what's right, to show leadership through action. Stoicism isn't about disengaging from the world. It's about knowing when to step in and doing so with clarity, discipline, and purpose. So what does it mean to choose the positive path? It means adding value, even in the smallest ways. It means being someone who doesn't just avoid doing wrong, but actively seeks to do right. It means creating a ripple of goodness that flows outward, reaching further than you might ever realize. According to Stoic wisdom, this is what real strength looks like. Choosing virtue through action. It's about being just, courageous, disciplined, and wise. And not just in your thoughts, but in your daily choices. It's time to stop merely dodging the negatives and start fully embodying the positives. Every moment you choose to lend a hand, to offer compassion, or to lead with patience, you're not just doing a good deed. You're tipping the scale. You're moving the moral weight of your life from zero to something meaningful. And don't forget, being a good man, a strong man, doesn't require grand heroic gestures. It's the small, consistent acts of goodness that accumulate and define who you are. They shape your legacy. So ask yourself, are you just trying not to do wrong? Or are you actively trying to do what's right? Because that's where true strength lives. If this message is resonating with you, if it's helping clarify what it means to be both strong and good, consider subscribing. It's a simple way to stay connected and make sure you don't miss out as we go deeper. Each conversation builds on the last, helping us grow not just as individuals, but as a community. So stay with us. Let's explore these virtues together. Let's discover how even the smallest shift in mindset or habit can lead to a bigger, more meaningful change. In the rush of daily life, it's easy to float along, doing no harm, but also doing no real good. Yet the essence of true strength and goodness isn't just in restraint. It's an active pursuit of the right thing. Picture this. You're at a grocery store. The cashier looks exhausted, worn out from the day. You could just pay and walk away. That's the neutral path. But what if instead, you paused and offered a smile, asked how their day is going? That tiny gesture, it can mean more than you realize. This isn't about shallow politeness. It's about seeing someone, really seeing them, and responding with empathy. Moments like these are at the core of Stoic living. To recognize another person's humanity and meet it with kindness, not for applause or reward, but because it's the right thing to do. So how do we turn this into a habit? It starts with the little things. Look for the moments in your day when you can choose kindness over convenience. Offer your seat. Help someone struggling. Listen fully when a friend speaks without checking your phone. These actions might seem minor, but they matter deeply. They create waves. Your kindness encourages others to act kindly too, and that ripple effect can shape the culture around you. And to live as a Stoic means to do this with purpose. The Stoics taught that we can't control everything, but we can control ourselves, our behavior, our mindset, our decisions. While we can't dictate how others act, we can choose how we respond. And in that space of choice, we find our greatest power. Want to make this a part of your life? Challenge yourself. Every day, do one thing that benefits someone else, even if it's small. If it helps, write it down. Reflect on how it made you feel, and pay attention to how others respond to your kindness. Over time, those journal entries will become more than memories. They'll chart your transformation. They'll show you how your small decisions built something much larger. A life defined by character and contribution. And something beautiful happens when you commit to this practice. Slowly, your self-image begins to shift. You start to see yourself as a person who does good, who chooses goodness on purpose. That identity grows stronger with each act, reinforcing the habit. In a way, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You act like the person you want to be, and then you become that person. Someone not just strong, but truly good. This is the essence of what it means to be dangerously good. Not a threat in the traditional sense, but a powerful force for good in a world that desperately needs it. You become a presence that uplifts, encourages, and leads, not with volume, but with quiet strength. This is the Stoic path, a journey not of ego, but of impact. Not of noise, but of transformation. So, take the first step. Plant that seed of virtue today. Nurture it with intention, and watch as your life blossoms into a garden of respect, empathy, and strength. Because in the end, every act of kindness you sow brings us all closer to the world we wish to live in. Being dangerously good is not about aggression. It's about possessing the quiet strength to protect and to stand for what's right, precisely at the moment when it's most needed. Imagine yourself in a noisy room, voices overlapping, people scrambling to be heard. Amid the chaos, there's one person who remains calm, grounded, and observant. They don't shout, they don't push, and yet, their very presence commands attention. This is the essence of Stoic power, firm, composed, and quietly unshakable. They are like a guardian, invisible yet undeniable, reminding us that true wisdom doesn't scream, it simply exists in control. Control, after all, is the Stoic's art. The mastery of one's emotions, behaviors, and impulses. The truly powerful man is not the loudest one in the room, but the one who acts with deliberation and grace. When a situation calls for action, he responds with thoughtful precision, not panic, not rage. To be dangerously good is to cultivate this kind of inner resilience. It's about being prepared to act ethically and with strength in moments of crisis. And more than that, it's about having the moral courage to face difficult choices. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. This kind of strength doesn't boast. It humbles itself in duty. It lives in quiet corners of everyday life, where the ethical path may cost you comfort, popularity, or personal ease. But still, you act. Why? Because deep down, you know that virtue demands it. Stoicism teaches us that knowing what is right is not enough. You must also have the resolve to do what is right, even when no one is watching. Especially then. Imagine the courage it takes to step forward when a colleague is being treated unfairly, or to lend a hand to someone in distress when others look away. These are not acts of physical dominance. They are acts of moral bravery. And to build this kind of courage, you must first examine your own values. What do you stand for? What principles shape your decisions? Once you are clear on these, living dangerously good becomes a matter of integrity. If honesty is your core value, then it means speaking the truth when lies might be easier or more comfortable. If justice is your anchor, then it means defending it even when it's inconvenient, even if it means standing alone. Being dangerously good also requires preparation. Like a sentinel who never seeks a spotlight, but is always ready to act when needed. It's not just about willingness, it's about readiness. This might mean educating yourself deeply on the causes you care about. It could involve developing emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, or even physical skills to handle challenges with dignity. Strength without preparation is like a sword never sharpened. But when you commit to preparedness, you are fortifying yourself to serve, not dominate. And perhaps the most powerful aspect of this strength is that it asks for no recognition. You don't do it for the applause. You do it because your values demand it. Because your heart whispers, this is what a good man does. In the Stoic tradition, virtue isn't a performance, it's a way of being. The one who is dangerously good does not seek to be a hero, but becomes one through quiet, steadfast action. You step in not for the sake of glory, but because it's the right thing to do. This is what true strength looks like. It doesn't crave attention. It simply shows up. In a world overflowing with opinions and noise, strength today is not about knowing the most facts. It's about finding the few pieces of wisdom that matter. To be educated in the Stoic sense isn't to be full of data. It's to be full of understanding. It's about seeing the world clearly and using that clarity to live in alignment with virtue. Reflect on the last time you faced something unfamiliar, maybe a complex debate or a tough decision. Did you hesitate? Unsure of yourself? Now imagine how different it might have felt if you had prepared, if you had taken the time to explore different viewpoints to deepen your understanding. Your confidence would have been stronger, your voice more grounded, and your choices wiser and more impactful. This habit of staying informed and educated isn't a one-time act. It's a lifelong commitment. It's about curiosity with purpose, a desire to not just know more, but to live better. That means going beyond surface-level media consumption. It means intentionally seeking out thoughtful content, books, lectures, podcasts that challenge your thinking and expand your view of the world. It's about exposing yourself to a spectrum of ideas, even those that contradict your own. The Stoics valued knowledge, but only when paired with wisdom. Practical wisdom, the kind that changes how you live, how you treat others, how you respond to life. It's not enough to accumulate facts. What matters is applying what you learn. When you come across a new idea, don't just file it away. Ask yourself, how can I use this to improve my life? Let your learning guide your decisions, your conversations, and your personal philosophy. A good way to begin is by selecting a book or podcast on a topic you know little about. Commit to learning one new thing each week, and then go further. Share it. Start a discussion. Test your understanding through dialogue. And better yet, try teaching it to someone else. They say if you can teach it, you truly understand it. And in that process, your own knowledge solidifies. Being informed also means being engaged with the world as it is today. That doesn't require constant news alerts, but it does call for discernment. Choose reliable sources. Seek balance. And don't just absorb information, interrogate it. What does this mean? Why does it matter? How does it align with Stoic logic and ethics? The habit of critical thinking becomes your compass, guiding you through the noise toward truth. And as you do this, you aren't just expanding your mind, you're shaping it. You're training your mind to be resilient, deliberate, and wise. This is what the Stoics envisioned. Not scholars lost in theory, but warriors of thought, clear, calm, and courageous in how they live. To live wisely is to become adaptable, ready for whatever life throws your way. This kind of preparation isn't just about bracing for difficulty. It's about becoming a leader in your own life, someone who moves with direction rather than drift. It also means being a conscious member of your community, a voice of clarity when confusion reigns. In the spirit of Stoicism, knowledge should never be something we merely collect like trophies. It should be something that shapes us, something that refines our actions, sharpens our decisions, and molds us into better human beings. So, take the challenge. Step willingly into the unknown. Let discomfort become your teacher. The pursuit of wisdom is endless, and the journey itself is where the joy lies. Imagine navigating life like sailing through stormy seas. The winds of stress, the crashing waves of unexpected hardship, the constant emotional tides. These never stop. But learning to remain calm amid this chaos, that's not just useful. It's transformative. It's a Stoic superpower. Calmness is more than staying composed. It's an inner discipline that allows you to respond to life with clarity rather than impulse. It doesn't mean we pretend emotions don't exist. It means we understand them, identify their roots, and refuse to be controlled by them. Stoicism teaches us that self-mastery, especially over our emotions, is the key to peace of mind. Think back to a moment when you felt overwhelmed. Maybe you were stuck in a tense conversation or buried in pressure at work. Your first instinct might have been to snap, to shut down, to react. But that's where calmness matters most. When we cultivate calmness, we create a space between the emotion we feel and the response we choose. That pause, that sacred space, is where our power lies. It's in that gap that conflict can turn into connection, that misunderstanding can become understanding. Want to build that muscle? Start small. Develop daily rituals that center you. Whether it's 5 minutes of meditation, a short breathing practice, or quietly sipping your morning tea while watching the sunrise, these practices ground you in the present. They remind you that you can't always control what happens, but you can control your state of being. Your environment also plays a role. If your day starts with anxiety after watching the news, maybe begin with something educational or inspiring instead. If caffeine sends your nervous system into overdrive, try replacing it with herbal tea. Even music can shift your mood, so choose sounds that support serenity. Peace isn't just the absence of stress. It's something you build intentionally, like a fortress around your inner world. And when storms come, and they always do, you'll need more than avoidance. You'll need resilience. That's why the Stoics reminded us, it's not the event itself that troubles us, but our interpretation of it. If we can shift our perception, we can shift our entire experience. Calmness, then, is a byproduct of Stoic focus. Choosing to direct our energy only toward what we can control, our thoughts and our actions. Let go of the rest. A calm life doesn't mean a life without difficulty. It means your peace is no longer fragile. It doesn't shatter at every challenge. You become like a seasoned sailor who has learned not to fight the sea, but to ride its rhythms. Each hardship is met with practiced hands and a steady heart. The confidence you carry isn't loud, it's deep and quiet, born from knowing you are prepared to face what comes. That is wisdom. Not just knowing the path, but walking it with grace. Wisdom is more than knowledge. It's the lived understanding of how, when, and why to act. It's what allows you to look past the noise and see the structure beneath the chaos, to sense the undercurrents beneath the surface. This kind of insight helps you steer through life's complexity with calm assurance. In the Stoic view, wisdom isn't accumulated just to sound clever or appear learned. It's meant to be lived. It's about becoming more perceptive, more thoughtful, more equipped to navigate life without being pulled in every direction by impulse or ego. Wisdom teaches you this. Not every challenge requires your response. Sometimes, silence is strength. Sometimes, letting something pass is the most powerful move you can make. Think of how often we feel tempted to jump into every argument, every online debate, every dramatic situation. Wisdom reminds us, some battles aren't worth our energy. Save your strength for what truly matters. Choose the fights that align with your values and let the rest fall away. Wisdom also includes timing. Knowing what to say is only part of it. Knowing when and how to say it, that's the mastery. It may mean waiting until emotions cool before giving feedback. It may mean speaking gently when someone expects confrontation, or acting decisively when the moment demands courage. It's about impact. not performance. They say knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Wisdom, like any tool, is only as useful as its application. Knowing that a tomato is a fruit is interesting, but wisdom? Wisdom is knowing not to toss it into a fruit salad. In the same way, life wisdom isn't just about what you know. It's about how, when, and why you use that knowledge. It's about applying insight in ways that are appropriate, thoughtful, and genuinely beneficial to the situation at hand. So how do we begin to cultivate this kind of wisdom in our own lives? One powerful practice is learning to pause before reacting. When something stirs your emotions or challenges your ego, take a moment. Breathe. Reflect. Ask yourself, will this response serve my long-term values? Does this action align with the person I want to become? That moment of reflection, brief as it may be, is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It draws you away from impulse and leads you toward intention. And in that space, reason can flourish. But wisdom doesn't grow in isolation. It thrives on variety, on richness of experience. That means we must actively seek it. Read beyond your favorite genre. Explore different fields of thought, philosophy, science, literature, even art. Speak with people who challenge your ideas, not just those who affirm them. Push past your comfort zone. Every new experience, every uncomfortable truth adds another ring to your tree of understanding. And with each layer, you become more rooted, more resilient, and more capable of making decisions that reflect depth and integrity. Imagine yourself as a towering old tree in the heart of a storm. The wind howls, the rain lashes, yet you remain still, strong, unwavering. Why? Because your roots run deep. You've grown through seasons of change, and like the wise tree, you learn to observe more than react, to listen more than speak. You absorb the world with curiosity, then act from a place of grounded clarity. This is the essence of wisdom, not just surviving the storm, but knowing how to bend without breaking. As we come to the close of this exploration into what it truly means to be strong and virtuous, remember this: the path to wisdom is never finished. Each decision, each act of reflection, each step toward growth, these are the bricks that form the road beneath your feet. You are always building, always becoming. Thank you for joining us on this journey of thought and transformation here at Stoic Grove. If today's reflection sparked something within you, if you feel a renewed desire to live with clarity and virtue, we invite you to continue walking this path with us. Explore the next video waiting for you on screen. Dive deeper, question further, learn more. Because together, as a community of seekers, we can grow stronger. Not just individually, but collectively. Your presence here makes all the difference. Your curiosity, your willingness to reflect, your desire to grow, that's what builds this movement. Until next time, keep striving, keep reflecting, and above all, keep living a life of virtue. We'll meet you on the path again soon. In a world full of noise, distraction, and emotional chaos, true strength comes from within. It's the quiet power of wisdom, the discipline of reflection, and the courage to live by your values, even when it's hard. Being dangerously good isn't about dominance. It's about integrity, calmness, and intentional action. If this message resonates with you, if you're seeking to become stronger, wiser, and more grounded through timeless Stoic principles, then this is just the beginning. Join us at Stoic Grove. Subscribe now and continue your journey toward clarity, virtue, and inner strength. Not because it's easy, but because it's the right thing to do.